Hi, my name is Sam Gjormand, and I just completed my SRM internship with the Northern Virginia College Baseball League out of Vienna, Virginia, under Coach Rob Haney as my site supervisor. I served as the managing intern for the league's inaugural season. Um, I had a blast. I met so many great people, and I really think that's what helped make this experience so great. Um, I was supposed to be up in the Cape Cod League this summer working with the Wareham Gatemen. That fell through due to COVID, and I ended up finding out about the league around here and knew that they would probably needed some help getting everything going in such a short amount of time. So I jumped in where I could and knew in accepting the position that it would probably entail a lot of different types of jobs than what my background has, prepared me for. But I was ready for the challenge and knew that it would ultimately be the great learning experience that I needed and that what this internship was meant to be. So first off, my first job was to create the league logo. This is it. Really proud of it. Not a graphic designer, but it turned out great if you ask me, and it was awesome to see everybody wearing my design around throughout the summer. The league lasted 4 weeks. So at the beginning, leading up to draft night, I was hosting meetings via Zoom to answer questions from prospective players, parents, all that fun stuff. I was compiling registration information into a draft sheet or draft database, if you will, and then using information that they had given us along with information that I was taking from, watching some of their players' film and some other different scouting sites to create this draft sheet for the players so that they could get a better idea of who these guys were on and off the field. So they had to pull from 180 couple players, and ultimately 130 something of them ended up getting drafted. So that was a lot of fun to be able to kind of help with the team selection process. And I was a part of draft night, and that was really cool just to see how that all played out and how different coaches went about it. Another one of my big jobs was overseeing the volunteer program. We had about 40 high school and middle school aged volunteers that helped us out with our game day operations. I had a blast working with these kids. They were awesome and just excited to be a part of something that was really going to turn the summer around for a lot of the local people and everybody involved, really. So that one of the big jobs with that included making a playbook that I ultimately decided to do just in case I couldn't be at one of the fields or if I was at the other field that day. And I was just a phone call away always, but this playbook was able to give them the opportunity to troubleshoot and try to problem solve on their own if I was in the process of getting back over to the other field. So I obviously couldn't be two places at once. So that 30-page book included rosters, scoreboard troubleshooting, music troubleshooting, keeping the stats for the game, that kind of thing. Anything that they needed, it was in there. And I had a lot of fun really putting that together so that I could kind of try to foresee what could go wrong, even though we know that you really can't. During the season, we had 24 games a week. So we played at 2 different sites that included 2 games at each site, 4 days a week, and then 4 games at each site on Saturdays, as that was our doubleheader day. I oversaw game day ops, made sure everything ran smoothly through rain delays, working with coaches to put out the little fires here and there, hearing feedback from fans, which ultimately we got so much positive feedback, which made everything, so much more fun because we were able to see how much this league meant to the people who were not only a part of it, but just coming out from the town to come watch these guys play, because it really was just great talent and a lot of fun. I also did social media. I do not have a background in social media, but it was honestly kind of fun trying just to put out fun content that getting the players involved, getting the fans involved. I created theme days that took place on Saturdays. God, I'm running out of time. I wish I could talk forever. I've filmed this 10 times. Site experiences. I honestly met all my goals. I kind of knew going in that it was going to be a variety of tasks. And honestly, what this summer was about for me was working on my organization skills, which I definitely had to be on top of so that everything would run smoothly. Working on my communication skills. I got to meet so many great people, including on our league pro day that I facilitated and ran. I put together the schedule for that, invited the players, was in contact with scouts throughout the whole summer, really, but especially in preparation for that day. I've got a bunch of new connections as far as pro baseball goes from that as well. I'd met a lot of those guys before, but some of them I hadn't. And now I've got connections with almost every MLB team, which was really great. I learned about myself just like at the beginning, I was so stressed out, making sure everything had to go smoothly because my supervisor was coaching in the league, and um, I wanted everything to be perfect, but I just had to trust in my volunteers and my people who I had trained and we were letting work to make sure that everything was going to run smoothly, because I knew if something went wrong, we would fix it. It wasn't going to be a big deal. Everybody was so grateful for the opportunity to be there, that I just had to trust in the people around me, and I knew everything was going to come together great. As I mentioned, my communication skills improved. I just having to put out the little fires. It was kind of an adrenaline rush for me. Not that everything was going wrong, because it wasn't, but sometimes, it was just the little things popping up that you didn't see coming, that you just had to think on your feet and come up with a solution for. And ultimately everything worked out. So as I mentioned, I made a bunch of connections outside the classroom. That's really going to help me down the line. And yeah, I would absolutely recommend this site to future JMU SRM students. We just got through the first season. We made it through the whole month of July. It was a blast. We got so much positive feedback. The league is going to be around for a long time. I do know that. Definitely go work for the NVCL. It's just a good small town vibe and experience, and everybody was just so happy to be there and so happy to show up and come to work every day, whether they were a coach or just a fan coming to watch the game. The energy truly was contagious, and I mean that in the most sincere way. I had so much fun. I know I'm 2 minutes over, but gosh, I can't say enough good things about the NVCL.